Ladies and gentlemen, we got some big news. Yesterday was a big day in the world of college football and in the world of the NFL because of a little thing called the NFL draft that's happening in the end of April. So yesterday was the pro day for Mack Jones at Alabama and for a certain Buckeye quarterback by the name of Justin Fields. Now, I watched a couple of highlights from both of their pro days. I thought they both did very, very well. I'm obviously not a pro scout or anything. I'm not scouting these players to be drafted. I'm just a fan that watched their pro days and I'm gonna give you my thoughts. So, starting with Mack Jones, since I'm a Buckeye fan, we'll save Justin Fields for a little bit later. Starting off with Mack Jones, I thought he did very, very well. He's a solid passer. He can move around the pocket, extend plays. We saw that in college, especially against the Buckeyes. He can make plays. I think he led the college football in completion percentage this year. So I think he's going to be a very, very good quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he will ever be a star or a superstar quarterback in the NFL. I think he'll be in that kind of B tier to A tier of a quarterback, probably around the same level as, I don't know, maybe like a Derek Carr or a Jimmy Garoppolo, or who else would be in that category? Like a Joe Flacco if he was in his prime. Obviously not now, Joe Flacco, but when Joe Flacco was winning, when he won the Super Bowl on that Ravens team in 2012, that's what I would consider Mack Jones to be. Obviously, Mack Jones can move around a lot more than those guys. He is more athletic than those guys are. He's got a better arm than those guys do. So I think he could be on the upper side of that argument. But I don't think Mack Jones will ever be the reason you win a Super Bowl. That's what we're looking for in these quarterbacks. You are looking for a quarterback that has everything, all the intangibles, and it has that it factor, and it has the reason. The quarterback that you have on your team needs to be, if not the main reason, but one of the reasons why you win a Super Bowl. Like Tom Brady. I know that defense for Tampa Bay this past season dominated the Chiefs, but Tom Brady was one of the reasons. He was 1A to that defense in the reasons why they won that Super Bowl. And back a couple of years ago, Patrick Mahomes was the reason Kansas City won that Super Bowl against the 49ers. And back even more years, Brady was the reason that the Patriots won most of their Super Bowls. Big Ben was the reason the Steelers won their Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers was the reason the Packers won that Super Bowl. Drew Brees was the reason the Saints won that Super Bowl. These quarterbacks are the reason that these teams win Super Bowls. Yes, I know the argument is that, oh, juice, those teams had great defenses. Those games had like crazy situations that happened. Yes, I understand all of that. But those situations would have never happened if that quarterback was not that great and that quarterback put that team in the situation to win it. So, getting back on track on the actual pro day, Mack Jones did very, very well in his pro day. He threw in yesterday's pro day. I think he had not thrown in his first. This was his second pro day that he did yesterday, and I don't think he threw in that pro day. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he threw in that pro day. He might have. But he definitely did throw in this one. I think he threw like 70-some passes in this workout that he did for his pro day. And he looked very good. He looked like he had a strong arm. There was a couple drop passes, but I'm going to lean towards that was the wide receiver's fault, not Mack Jones's fault. I think he put the ball in a spot where the receiver should have caught it. But Mack Jones, to me, is he's a first-round quarterback. Okay, we'll say that. I'll leave it at a first-round quarterback. He's probably mid to late first round, in my opinion. I don't think the 49ers should trade up, or they already did trade up, but I don't think they should use that trade up to take Mack Jones. I think they should either take maybe like a Zach Wilson if he's still on the board, or they take best available and stick with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that's what they should do. I don't think they should take Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones is a top 3 quarterback. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback. I think he's a top 20 quarterback is what I'm saying in this draft. I think he'll go from, let's say, about 20 to 27 in that range. 20 to 27 in that range. I'm not sure who's got those picks, but whether or not they have those picks, they should take Mac Jones. Now, moving on to Justin Fields. Justin Fields ran a 4.440, which I personally don't think a 40-yard dash means anything for a quarterback. Yes, if they run a quick 40, that means they can extend plays and run out of the pocket and scramble like a Deshaun Watson or a Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, something like that. But the real test of a quarterback is their arm strength. And we already talked about Mac Jones having tremendous arm strength. So Justin Fields, I think, has great arm strength. He's got good intangibles. He can. The only knock on Justin Fields is he doesn't read. Doesn't go through his progressions. He goes to the first read that he has, and then he can't get through his progressions like that throughout a game. And I've noticed that as a Buckeye fan watching all of his games, but it seems like that is the knock on him for NFL scouts. So, but all the things that I've been hearing throughout the season were good things for Justin Fields, except for the kind of the progression thing, obviously. And he impressed in his pro day yesterday. He did very, very well for himself. He may have moved himself up because there was some rumors that Justin Fields was going to be dropped into late first round and not like a top 10, top 5 pick. But maybe this pro day changes things. I don't know. I don't know how much a pro day can sway college scouts or pro scouts. I wouldn't really think it could sway you that much, at least for a quarterback. Maybe for like a wide receiver or a defensive lineman, maybe it could sway you a little bit. But for a quarterback, I don't think it really matters until you get on the field with real in-game situations and real in-game scenarios where you can really tell what kind of quarterback you have. So that's my opinion on Justin Fields and Mac Jones' pro days. Let me know down below what you guys think about their pro days, where you guys think they're going to go in the draft. And if you think I'm wrong, obviously you can let me know if you think I'm wrong about my analysis of Mac Jones and Justin Fields. I tried to keep my bias away from Justin Fields because he's no longer an Ohio State quarterback. He's a former Ohio State quarterback at this point. So I tried to keep my bias away from it. I hope I did a decent enough job. I think I did, but you guys can let me know how I did if you don't think I kept my bias away or not. I think Justin Fields is a top 10 quarterback, and I think Mac Jones is a late round 20 to 27, 28 kind of quarterback in the first round. They'll both go in the first round, I think, but I think Justin Fields is that little bit better than Mac Jones. I mean, Mac Jones wasn't even the best quarterback or the best player on his own team in college. He had Jalen Waddle, and he had the running back Najee Harris, so I don't think Mac Jones is a good quarterback, don't get me wrong, but I think Justin Fields was the best player on that team last year, and it definitely showed in the game against Clemson. Yes, it didn't show really in the game against Northwestern or the game against Nebraska or the game against Alabama in the championship game, but I think Justin Fields has got what it takes to be a good NFL quarterback. So you guys can let me know down below what you guys think as well. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, join the Juice Club. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya!